Well, Ann Coulter, the best-selling author, got a number of bestsellers, but her latest book, In Trump We Trust, you should read that book. What a Trump book, In Trump We Trust. And, of course, you go to AnnCoulter.com. You can get a column there. It's Ann Coulter on Twitter and Facebook. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you, Mark Simone?
Very good. I'm living in a sanctuary city. I feel safe. Now, sanctuary city, is that the same as harboring...
No, it's not to keep you safe.
Oh, but sanctuary city, that means harboring fugitives, right?
Right. No, we always have this ratchet effect on state versus federal law. When it comes to abortion, no, states can't have their own laws. When it comes to Obamacare, states can't have their own laws, though there's nothing in the Constitution about Congress setting, pension, health care, or abortion policy for the country. But when it comes to pot and immigration law, two things that Congress, the federal government, actually does have authority over, most of all immigration, manifestly from the Constitution, and because of international drug rings. If drugs were a small local problem, that would be state too. But now that we're dealing with, for a long time now, massive international drug rings, that's federal law. And yet all these states say, no, we'll have our own pot policy. No, we're going to have our own immigration policy. It's always a ratchet with liberals. There's no principle, no logic, no consistency.
The horrible case in San Francisco where the illegal alien killed the young girl.
Kate Steinle, yeah.
Okay, he actually said he deliberately went to San Francisco knowing it was a sanctuary city and that he could get away with stuff and be protected there.
Oh, yeah. In a way, I almost wouldn't mind. We'd be knocking off so many liberals. But I'm just kidding. But then they leave the sanctuary cities. That's just where they run back to hide out after committing crimes.
So, but what do you do about this? You got Mayor de Blasio in New York, proud to be a sanctuary city.
It's such a sick mindset, and apparently it is going to take Trump really dragging and screaming the country out of always putting foreigners, even to the point of putting foreign criminals before Americans. The hallmark of the Trump immigration policy, in fact, every policy, is we need to take care of Americans, whereas the Democrats, and unfortunately an awful lot of the Republicans' policy, is we need to take care of Wall Street first. and the hell with Republicans. But there's lots that can be done. Sessions started slowly with clearly existing laws and a letter from Loretta Lynch allowing the Attorney General, requiring the Attorney General, I believe, to withdraw certain types of funds from sanctuary cities. But if these congressional Republicans were worth a damn, they'd pass a law expressly allowing the executive, which he already can do, but I would say expressly allowing the executive to withdraw all kinds of funding from sanctuary cities, not just specifically related to law enforcement.
Yeah, it's millions. I think actually in New York it's billions of dollars that come in from the federal government. So
I think so.
Hey, wouldn't you agree Paul Ryan has to go?
I'm so glad you asked that, because that, of course, has been my position, for about 5 years.
Yeah.
As you know, I campaigned against his Republican primary opponent in the last election, Paul Nehlen, who is a fantastic Trumpian Republican, really smart businessman, successful, articulate. Oh, he's so great. But we had those. There's something the matter with the Wisconsin GOP. That Charlie Sykes you see on MSNBC is typical. So anyway, unfortunately, that race by Paul Nehlen didn't work, but he's out there and he may run again. We thought it would help keep Ryan honest. But no, his entire idea of how do we fix Obamacare is cut taxes. Well, no, Ann still doesn't get health insurance. And by the way, I have a complete, simple, unbeatable Obamacare fix going up in my column today. I'm going to try to get it up early because I'm so eager for someone for a Republican to introduce it. It's so beautiful in its simplicity, and I'm not joking about this either. But as for Paul Ryan, I'm now kind of thinking, well, we need somebody to replace him with, for one thing. I think he's been just try this out for size. I think he's been so weakened by his complete flub of the Obamacare replacement that he's kind of weak now, and and I kind of like having a weak speaker. You put in a new, fresh, strong guy, we might get somebody who ends up, showboating, appealing to the media, and defying Trump. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think anybody looks at him, and this has been going on for a long time, and they can see he's a worm, he's a weasel, don't trust him. But they would always make the case, oh, but he's very smart. He's very smart. Nobody knows policy like he. Well, now, after his Ryan Care bill, we see he isn't very smart. That was the stupidest bill ever put together. He had 4 years to work on it, and he came up with this piece of crap. He's an idiot.
Yes, and he's a particular kind of idiot. I mean, he may do very well on standardized tests. I don't know about that, but this is the problem with Washington. Just look at Paul Ryan and you see it. He is the product of the think tanks, and see if we fiddle with the funding mechanism here for Medicaid and Medicare, we can make all this work. And he's just the sort of person who is applauded by Bill Kristol, who wanted him to run for president. I mean, for years and years, he didn't even like Romney. It was Paul Ryan he wanted in there. There's something about Washington, which is why Trump is such a breath of fresh air. He's not a politician. You wonder, how can these guys be so stupid? There really is a cocoon in Washington where it's.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Ryan is just a young Chuck Schumer. That's all he is.
They need to get out and meet some people.
But,
they ought to meet Americans. They're very nice people, Americans.
But, for years, Ryan's been getting away with this. He speaks on television. People say, oh, he sounds brilliant. Did you know what he said? No.
That's true, and I warned everyone. I remember when people were pushing him for president rather than Romney back in 2012, and that vice presidential debate. I was in L.A. I was going to the debate. It was drizzling, and they're not used to rain out here, so the traffic was abominable. So the first 20 minutes of the debate we listened to on the radio. And if you listen to that debate on the radio, Biden was killing Ryan, killing him. The only thing that ended up making it a draw was when you got in and actually saw. Remember how that was the debate where Biden was doing all that mugging for the camera?
Yeah.
He was making faces and rolling his eyes. Biden ended up blowing it by the way he was clowning around during that debate. But on points, on what he was saying, he was winning the debate, and I think he's wrong about most things. So that shows you how bad Ryan is.
Well, in Ryan's defense, he is incapable of making faces. He has absolutely no personality and is incapable of showing any expression on that face of his.
Though I do have a position for him because he is going to want to stay in Washington. I think he should be in charge of the President's Commission on Physical Fitness and creepy mirror photos.
Yeah, he is like Anthony Weiner without the texting. That same kind of nerdy, too much time in the gym kind of look to him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Creepy mirror photos.
Hey, we were talking about this earlier. Nobody has more ties to Russia than John Podesta. His company took $35 million from Russia. His brother's a paid Russian agent. I mean, nobody's more tangled up with Russia than Podesta. So when they made up this fake Russia narrative, do you think he started calling everybody saying, hey, cut it out with pick another country, cut it out with the Russia?
No, the Russia, this is going to go down in history as one of the craziest left-wing conspiracy theories. It doesn't make sense on any level. As the evidence comes in, alleged evidence, it's instantly, blown apart. In addition to Russians having much closer ties to those on the Hillary administration. I don't know if you saw this. The one outfit that allegedly had some proof that there was, for not on the collusion point, that it was the Russians behind the DNC hack, was this outfit called CrowdStrike. You've heard of that.
Yeah.
And why? Because they're it turns out they're affiliated with the Hillary campaign. So they're the only ones who've been able to find it. I tweeted an article from the Miami Herald this week with all these other computer hacking experts saying, No. What they're citing as evidence, nobody believes. None of us believe it. There was one guy on the record explaining it in some detail. Anyway, I tweeted that out. Well, as of yesterday, CrowdStrike took back the one crucial part of its report, which involved an allegation of Russia hacking the Ukraine, and it turns out they were relying on something like, Institute for Strategic Studies, and Institute for Strategic Studies said, wait, the data you took from us is completely false. This never happened. So the one outfit that was there, but if I could just back up, overall, in the last, 60 seconds I have here, it just never made sense, and it still doesn't make sense. The Russians are crafty people. They know how to do spying. Americans didn't know, for one thing, who was going to win the election. There have been so many times when remember in 1980, Democrats, Jimmy Carter was praying it would be Reagan, praying it would be Reagan. Democrats praying it would be Trump this time. The idea that the Russians, that they would intervene in an election and think they'd know what the outcome was going to be, and think that they would know that it would help them. What if their leaks of the Hillary stuff had ended up making the Democrats be smart and replacing Hillary with Biden?
Yeah, the whole thing made no sense. Well, we're out of time, but everybody go to AnnCoulter.com. You can get her new column. It's coming out tonight, AnnCoulter.com, and get her book, In Trump We Trust. That's the best of the Trump books out there, In Trump We Trust. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
Take care.